The theory of the conspiracy to hide the crime of the family of ex-husband Thai Thien Phuong. Formerly a police officer, model Thai Thien Phuong's ex-father-in-law is suspected of planning a funeral plan from choosing a location to how to dispose of the body to escape murder. On March 2, the body parts of Thai Thien Phuong, a model suspected of being murdered by her ex-husband's family, were still being searched. Hong Kong police said the suspects were uncooperative, making the investigation difficult. Legal experts believe that Mr. Quang Ka, Thai Thien Phuong's ex-father-in-law, was a police officer, so he may have planned a meticulous funeral because he is familiar with the law. Under Hong Kong's current legal and penal system, if the plan is successful, the perpetrator can get away with murder. The legal system applied by the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region is still under the Anglo-American legal system, with law sources including written law and case law or precedent. In particular, case law is more important than written law. The Anglo-American legal system applies the principle of suspecting in favor of the defendant, that is, when there are doubts that cannot be clarified in the case, they should be explained in favor of the accused. According to this principle, even if all suspicions are directed towards the family of ex-husband Thai Thien Phuong, if the police do not find the body, it is difficult for them to prove that the model was indeed murdered by the suspects. It is difficult to convict with the highest sentence. In 1999, the case of a prostitute Phan Man Yi kidnapped, tortured, and murdered by 3 pimps shook Hong Kong. The victim was dismembered, hidden in the refrigerator. The skull was cooked, hidden in the head of a Hello Kitty stuffed animal. However, the 3 defendants testified that Man Yi died of a drug overdose. Because the victim's body was damaged and not intact, police were unable to prove exactly how she died. The jury could not come to a firm verdict that Man Yi was murdered. In December 2000, the 3 defendants received life sentences for manslaughter. In 2012, Hong Kong had a case of missing dancer Tan Gia Gi. Evidence from surveillance cameras made the police suspect that her lover Tran Van Tom had murdered and dismembered her body. However, the police did not find the body, and the scene was also cleaned by Tom. He was found guilty of murder by the first instance and appellate courts and sentenced to life in prison. After Tom appealed, at the 3rd trial on February 27, the jury found Tom guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 9.5 years in prison. In the case of Thai Thien Phuong, the victim's ex-husband's family is suspected of having arranged the crime for a long time. Mr. Ko rented a house in Lung Mei village in February, surrounded by the sea, mountains, a waste treatment plant, and a pig farm. Since receiving the missing report, the police have found this place after 2 days. Thai Thien Phuong's body has not been cleaned up yet. Hong Kong forensic doctor Cao Dai Tan speculated that the destruction of human body parts by heating made it difficult for investigators to identify the victim. Mr. Leung Gia Ka, Hong Kong's first dental forensic doctor, said teeth are the hardest part of the human body and are very difficult to destroy, which is the strongest evidence to identify the dead. Leung said that in the Thai Thien Phuong case, the police may have compared the victim's dental records to determine that the skull in the stainless steel pot belonged to the former model. According to Leung, DNA actually belongs to a protein, but this protein will begin to degrade due to high temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius, so it will be difficult to identify through DNA when the body is heated. However, teeth are very hard, need to be treated at high temperatures above 1000 degrees within 4 to 5 hours to begin to decompose. Therefore, the forensic doctor will determine the identity of the dead person through the teeth in difficult to identify cases such as people suffering from fire or drowning. To date, besides finding the remains of the body, Hong Kong police have also searched for other evidence such as clothes, phones, and investigated call records to strengthen the suspect's charges. On the morning of March 1, the police returned to the crime scene, knocked on the door of every house near the area to interrogate and collect more evidence. Meanwhile, Authorities continued to rummage through the landfill in Takwuling for the remains of bodies and evidence after detecting someone carrying trash bags from the crime scene to throw them through surveillance cameras. They have collected some bones but do not know if they are human or not. The landfill is the size of a football field, 3 to 5 meters deep, so it can take up to 2 to 3 days to complete the search. Thai Thien Phuong was reported missing by her family in the early morning of February 22. She was last seen getting on the bus driven by Quang Kang Kiet, her ex-husband's brother, on the afternoon of February 21. On February 24, police found the victim's legs in the refrigerator of the house rented by Mr. Ka in Lung Mei Village, Tai Po District. The top of the stainless steel pot is filled with vegetables. After investigating, the police arrested 5 people, namely Quang Ka, 65 years old, Quang Kang Kiet, 31 years old, Quang Kang Tri, 28 years old, ex-husband, Li Tui Huang, 63 years old, ex-mother-in-law and her husband. Woman surnamed Ngu, 47 years old, lover of Mr. Ka. 3 suspects Ka, Kiet, and Tri were charged with murder. Ms. Huang was accused of obstructing the investigation. Ms. Ngu was suspected of hiding a crime. During the hearing on the morning of February 27, the court decided to postpone the case until May 8 for additional investigation by the police. Mr. Kwang's family was detained. Ms. Ngu was granted bail. 2 days ago, February 28, Quang Kang Tri was tried on 7 counts of theft, but the trial was adjourned to May 9. According to the allegation, from May 12, 2013 to January 14, 2015, Tri stole a total of 39 necklaces, 32 bracelets, 6 pendants, 13 gold bars and 102 gold beads. He was released on bail and fled in 2015. Tri was arrested at Tung Chung Pier on February 25 for his involvement in the murder of Thai Thien Phuong. Thai Thien Phuong, Abby Choi, 28 years old, used to be a model, now owns 4 companies and is active in the fashion field. Thien Phuong married Quang Kang Tri at the age of 18, with 2 children. She took another step in 2016 with Chris, the son of the founder of a famous restaurant chain in mainland China, Hong Kong. The couple has 2 children. She holds assets exceeding 100 million Hong Kong dollars, more than 300 billion VND. Despite the divorce, Thai Thien Phuong still takes care of the economy for her ex-husband's family. She once bought a house for them to live in, under Mr. Kwang's name. Thien Phuong also hires Alex's brother as a driver. However, in 2022, Thai Thien Phuong wants her ex-husband's house to sell the house she bought and get a part of the money back. The model proposed to find another place for Mr. Kwang's family, but he was dissatisfied. There was a conflict between the 2 sides.